Welcome back, everybody. So, our last video ended with, what's in this box? Well, let's find out. So, NECA released the 1990s Ninja Turtles in a limited set for the San Diego Comic-Con. I think it was last year or the year before. My memory's a little fuzzy. And it was kind of lame because the set became super expensive really fast, and there was basically like no way to get your hands on the turtles. However, they announced a few months ago, it's like, we're releasing them retail as GameStop exclusives, and mine finally came. So I was pretty happy to get a hold of these. So it was sort of a strange thing though. So on release date, none of the GameStops had them. Like, everybody just, they're all gone, they're all out. Like, I was calling GameStops because, with me, a lot of the fun is, you go out to the store, you pick it up. Uh, but pretty much none of the GameStops in town actually got a hold of them. And it was the same story for almost everywhere else. Uh, and then one manager even told me, it's like, oh, well, they're being discontinued. Maybe you can get them online. And so, in a bit of a panic, I went online and I ordered 2 sets. So, I already opened up one set, but I figured I'd do something kind of like the unboxing that we typically do here, trying to make it a little bit less awkward. Because usually, you watch me fumble with the knife, and we just tried to reduce that this time. So, but they were offered. You could either buy them separately or as like a bundle. Turns out buying them separately was 2 cents cheaper than buying the bundle, which I thought was kind of funny. But they come in, the standard, not quite like the ultimate style boxing, like the window box is. It's something they do for more promotional items, like the Shout Factory figures that you've seen me with. Like, they're packaged kind of like that. And, they have the GameStop sticker because they're a GameStop exclusive. Now, thankfully, a lot of GameStop started actually getting them in. So, if you want your own Ninja Turtle set, you can get out there and maybe you have a pretty good job of finding them at this point, because I've seen them at GameStops the last couple days. I've been shopping around, which on the one hand I'm annoyed because I bought the 2 sets thinking they'd be ultra scarce, but on the other hand, I'm just happy people can get them. So, because I wanted to open a set up, but I also wanted to have something kind of like still displayable like this. So, and the boxes are pretty nice too. Like, they give you an idea of kind of the range of motion that these have. I flip it for no real reason. So they're kind of light on accessories though, which we'll get into in a moment. So part of the reason I bought 2 sets as well is so that if something happened to one like during shipping, like one of the boxes came with like a huge like dent in the side, and in case that managed to like break a figure, like I wouldn't be totally like out. So all 5 of our main turtles in their 90s goodness. Which I really wish somebody would do a nice collector release of the first 90s movie, because, it's honestly a much better movie than it almost has any right to be. Like, I don't know how to put it properly into words. So, I mean, a lot of movies from that era are kind of like tainted by nostalgia, but, watching it today, like as an adult, it still holds up pretty well. And not a lot of things can say that. Let's go off onto our individual turtle talk here. So we'll start with Leo. It's the first one I opened up. So they all have pretty good articulation. It was a little bit hard to like find a pose that I liked for each one, but I don't know, you have a pretty good amount of freedom. Like, they're pretty mobile, unlike the Part 2 Jason that we saw a while ago. So one thing I kind of don't like is that their heads, they all have one expression, which I don't know if you can really see all too well with my lighting. But Leo's kind of like me. So, one of they didn't come with a whole lot of accessories either, like the SDCC set did. So, I mean, they come with their primary weapon, piece of pizza, and like a couple of alternate hands. So the alternate hands vary on each turtle. And they also came with sort of an alternate like headband piece so that you can clip it in to have it be like on like the left or right side of their heads. I mean, in terms of like NECA's figures, like these are maybe some of NECA's best looking figures ever, which is kind of surprising that that had to be like a Gamestop exclusive and not like a wider release thing. Although from what I had heard, it was something about like the licensing rights to them were like they had to take like a smaller distribution outlet from what I understood. So let me see if I can. They actually stand up on their own pretty well. Let's see if we can attempt to showcase this. If I can hold it steady long enough. But yeah, they look pretty good. So they kind of remind me of like the old Playmates Ninja Turtles movie figures, like in terms of like the way they feel. Like they feel kind of slightly rubbery, especially on the hands. Moving on to Donnie here. So his expression is kind of like the annoyed one from when he's like fixing the car with Casey Jones. It was sort of hard to figure out how to do like a pose for him though, because the bow doesn't quite. So they have two joints in their elbows, like one here and one here. But on some of them they were kind of stiff, so there wasn't a whole lot I could actually do with him. So plus it was kind of hard to get the staff into his hands without it like snapping. Like it had to bend a bit. So that was kind of a warning if you take yours out and you try to tinker with them. So I think maybe the alternate hands might be slightly better for Donnie because they're kind of the like that, like the way you like hold a bow staff sometimes. So that might be something that I consider in the future. But yeah, they all came with the same kind of loadout of accessories. So like alternate bandana, alternate hands, one piece of pizza, which I know the San Diego set came with like a Domino's box. So there's at least something exclusive to that set. So I think Mikey's probably my favorite one just because he has like a lively expression instead of being like pissed like the other turtles look like. So they had an interesting approach to like how they did his nunchucks. Like they used like an actual piece of looks like a thick kind of thread. So I mean when you twist it one way it kind of like comes apart. So I don't want to like mess with it too much. But you know it looks pretty great. Like it's kind of hard to figure out like a pose for him too. Because, I mean, they're a weapon, like, in motion, so what are you going to do? But, I mean, he comes with the standard, you know, like, the two hands, the pizza, and the headband. Well, I kind of like how they give Michelangelo, like, the thumbs-up hands. So I think I might change up my display with that at some point. And, you know, he was the only turtle that didn't come with, so one thing that was nice too was they all come with a place for their weapons on their belt, and Mikey didn't. But there's enough space between like his belt and his shell that you can just kind of like put the sticks together and like stick him in there the way he does in the movie and everywhere else. So that was a nice thing to consider. So he was just hard to pose. I do wish we got like more expressions with the turtles though. Whereas Raph comes, well, being Raph, like, he has like the angriest face on any figure I've ever had. But it's kind of great though. So, and like his size go into his belt. You know, they still have like the really I keep not wanting to like mess with their legs too much because it was tough to find kind of a blend of like action and the figure doesn't fall over. But uh, so in terms of quality, like this set is just great. And oh wow, I think there's even some more levels of detail I didn't notice. Like Raph's shell has like scratches and nicks on it, just because he's Raph. He's getting hurt a lot. I didn't know how to. Or like Donatello's back here is like clean. So it looks like they put more effort into some of the individual sculpts than I'd initially noticed. So that's always a good thing. And one thing that was really great about these two was that they were substantially cheaper than a lot of NECA figures. Like these were like 22, 23 a piece versus this typical like 29, 30-ish that we see. So if you head out to GameStop relatively soon, you too can probably have your own turtle set. So I wish I had my camera configured that I could show them all like standing up, but I'll probably make that the thumbnail. So, and they do look amazing like together. So overall, despite spending maybe too much on a second set, it was definitely worth it. And if you can find the turtles, pick them up. You'll be happy with it. So, well, thanks for watching. Like, share, and subscribe, and see you next time.